So I've been doing a lot of these since I threw my hat in the ring, and as you get to be a politician, you get good at reading minds. A good politician should have the ability to read people's minds. And so one of the questions you might have when people first meet me is whether or not I'm old enough to run for Congress, and in fact I am. I'm 38 years old. I'm old enough to be a father. In fact, I am a father now for the first time. I welcomed my son, John Abraham, the fifth generation that we'll raise on my family farm, that came in at a whopping 9 pounds, 9 ounces. Not getting much sleep these days. Folks said when I ran for Congress I wouldn't get much sleep. But it could be a good thing because now as I get in front of groups, folks won't think I look so young for my age. They might, at this rate of sleep, see me as so white-haired and haggard by the time this primary rolls around that they'll think Bernie Sanders is running for this congressional seat. I'm running for this seat to represent the community that I grew up in, to do what I can to return power back to the hands of ordinary citizens, and to make upstate New York a place where our kids and grandkids can raise a family again. I grew up on a fourth-generation farm, fruit and vegetable operation out in Columbia County, and my family is the American dream like so many of yours, immigrants that came here with almost nothing, and here I am 4 generations later, lucky enough to go through the public school system and get scholarships to Princeton and Brown. Most of the students that I know that I went to high school aren't here anymore. We export young people from this congressional district, and it's not sustainable. I've been standing up for my community my entire career. I stood up to some of the largest utility companies in the country when they sought to take 153 miles of people's land through eminent domain through 3 of the counties of this district to build transmission lines that you, the ratepayer, would have shelled $1.3 billion for that delivered you no savings. I've been a journalist for the past 15 years, covering how big pharmaceutical companies game the Food and Drug Administration and market painkillers that are hooking our rural communities on opioid and being addicted to those substances. On the town board of the town of Livingston that I serve, I'm the only Democrat on an all-Republican board, and I'm still able to work across the aisle to get progressive wins for our communities, such as banning hydrofracking. When we think about how to revitalize upstate New York, to provide a reason for our kids and grandkids to make a living here, it starts with broadband access. It starts with universal cell coverage. These are not luxuries. These are core business development issues that we need to compete in the 21st century economy. We need a farm bill that supports the diversified agriculture that we see here in the Northeast. We need to redirect more federal dollars for home and community-based services to support the graying communities that we experience here in upstate New York. And finally, to support the clean energy economy that is not only good for the planet, but good for rural America because it puts dollars back in our pockets and creates jobs here that can't be outsourced. We have always in America been the place where we build families and communities, and we have a lot of work to do to return power back to ordinary citizens to make sure that the same opportunities that were there for my great-grandfather John are there for my son John. Thank you.